Early in the 17th century, the Baroque painter Caravaggio was commissioned to make a work of the Virgin Mary, and he produced this? Yes, he did. This is the Death of the Virgin. And in its time, his depiction of the Virgin, of her death as that of an actual dead woman, sparked immense controversy amongst the papacy and the public at large in Rome. But as we look at this painting today, I don't think I'm wrong in saying that we can hardly share that sentiment. And as we've moved through the annals of art history, as we've passed particularly the avant-garde of the 20th century, it seems that even to a contemporary painting, we could hardly share this sentiment. It seems that painting today, as an art form itself, is as benign as it's ever been, that we are completely immune to any power it may possess to shock or awe us. However, and this was quite recently, there is such a work that does just that. And it's important to engage with such works of art, to remind ourselves that as advanced as we perceive ourselves to be, as cultured as we are, that we could still be brought to such levels of, in this case, public outrage by something benign, something as benign as painting. And to do this, I'm going to be speaking today about Chrysophilly's The Holy Virgin Mary. And we'll do so in 3 parts. First, I'm going to lead everyone through a very brief visual analysis, just to get like a gauge of the work, as the work actually is. We'll move into its controversy, and then we'll hear what the artist himself has to say about this work. So this is Chrysophilly's The Holy Virgin Mary. It's 8 feet tall and 6 feet wide, and it leans against the wall rather than hangs off it, supported by 2 balls of elephant dung, which read Virgin and Mary inside of them. And as we look at this painting, we can see a lot of the resemblances to traditional depictions of the Madonna. The use of yellow and gold, of the ethereal and holy, and of blue of royalty. Surrounding the figure are what appear to be butterflies. Upon closer inspection, these are collaged images of female genitalia. The figure herself is depicted as a black woman, and she is highly stylized. Her robe falls open to the right, exposing her breast, which is made of a 3rd ball of elephant dung, which is adhered to the linen. So now we've taken a look at the work, and we're going to move into its controversy. And according to a retrospective essay from the BBC on this work, these are the events as they played out that first sparked and propagated the controversy surrounding this painting. As part of a show called Sensation, it reached the Brooklyn Museum of Art in New York in 1999, where an article in the New York Daily News ran with the headline, "Brooklyn Museum of Horror, Gruesome Museum Show Stirs Controversy." The article would include a depiction of this, or a description rather, of this painting as, quote, splattered with elephant dung. Further fuel will be added to these sentiments when then Mayor Rudy Giuliani would have this to say of the painting. "It offends me. The idea of, in the name of art, having a city subsidize art, so-called works of art, in which people are throwing elephant dung at a picture of the Virgin Mary is sick." In the same remarks, he threatens to pull funding from the Brooklyn Museum unless the director comes to their senses. This, of course, incited a lot of agitation amongst the public in New York. There were protests outside the museum, an incident of a man throwing horse manure at the outside of the building. But it seemed to reach its crescendo when a retired school teacher from Manhattan, entered the museum, slipped behind the protective plexiglass, and smeared white paint over the painting. In defense of his actions, he called the work blasphemous. So now let's take a step back and hear what the artist himself has to say about it. Chrysophilly was born to Nigerian parents in Britain, and in regards to the elephant dung, it comes from a time he spent in Zimbabwe in 1992 after winning the Turner Prize for Art, which he uses still as a means to, quote, bring the landscape into his paintings. According to the comment website, in regards to this painting in particular, Ophili has this to say. It's about the way the black woman is talked about in hip-hop music. It's about my religious upbringing and confusion with that situation. The contradiction of a virgin mother. It's important that it's a black Madonna. It's about stereotyping of the black female. It's about beauty, it's about caricature, and it's about just being confused. And with these words, we start to get a different picture of this work. We start to see it as, rather than a means to incite agitation, it becomes a means or rather a manifestation of one pulling from their culture, their heritage, their religious upbringing, and trying to make sense of all those things. How do you make sense of contemporary culture, how black women are depicted, and religion all at the same time? So now that we've taken a fairly unbiased view, we've taken a very biased view, and we've heard what the artist himself has to say, I'm going to finish with putting the artwork up one last time. But as I do that, I want you to do a couple things. I want you to think, of course, of everything that I've just told you right now. But I also want you to think about the language we use in paintings when we describe them. Consider the phrase, this painting doesn't do anything to me. It doesn't do anything for me. And when you look at this painting, I want you to think, does it do anything to you or for you? And if it does, consider, does it do it to you, or does it reflect what you do to it? It's the latter of these two, I contend, is actually happening, and it's in this way paintings have power, and it's in this way paintings can still shock us. Thank you.